Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a general reading for the sign of Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Leo, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes to this channel. It's very, very exciting. Leo, just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to you first to solicit for private readings, and so nobody should be doing that from this channel. I do offer private readings, so if you'd like to schedule one with me, that information can be found in the About section on my YouTube page, along with the opportunity to send donations. So I thank you so much in advance for that. So Leo, we are going to be doing your reading today with the Rosebud Tarot, which is this beautiful tarot deck I got a couple days ago. And to get a temperature on the energy, we're going to use the Elemental Oracle by Stacey DeMarco. Done a couple of readings so far, and it's been an interesting journey with each of the signs. So now I'm on fire signs. So Leo, you are up first. Angel, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for Leo? Wow, one of the other signs got this one. I believe it was Pisces. So if you have Pisces in your chart, you may want to watch that reading. The word is oceans, or the element is oceans, and the word is bravery. Well, I can't think of anything more appropriate for a Leo than the word bravery. Although right then in that moment, I heard it was like bravery isn't all it's cracked up to be, or the sentiment of that, as if you're always expected to be the brave one, and with that comes a certain reputation, a certain responsibility, and this is the opposite of the world on your shoulders, but it's very weird. I'm getting another U2 reference. I got a U2 reference in the last reading I did for Scorpio. The ground beneath her feet. That's the name of a U2 song. U2 is my favorite band, or one of my favorite bands. So that song, The Ground Beneath Her Feet. It's like shaky. I was saying last time I got this card, it's like, can you imagine being on top of the world and the world's on top of an ocean, and you're just like a hamster on a wheel, almost trying to maintain your balance, trying to make it all work, trying to balance everything, all of your responsibilities. Take that as it resonates. Leo, I'm going to be pulling 4 cards for your base spread, 4 cards for clarifiers. Past, present, future energy, plus advice from Spirit. So I'm shuffling now. The cards were pre-shuffled, but I'm shuffling to get the cards out. I never choose. I always let them pop out of the deck. One more. One more, Spirit. Thank you. Oh, nice. Okay. Surprisingly, don't see a lot of Wands energy or fire energy, which would be your element. There is some here. So let's begin at the beginning. In the past energy, you got the 6 of Air, or the 6 of Swords. This did show up in another reading as well. I do believe it was Pisces. Maybe it was Cancer. 6 of Air, 6 of Swords talks typically about moving on from a situation, moving on from chaos and conflict to calm. Calmer waters, calmer shores. there's a little suitcase here that I didn't notice before. And as we can see, the Twin Towers in the background here. Very, very specific connotation for this reader. May have a specific connection to you as well. I told this story in the other reading, but I was living in New York City, in Manhattan, during this period of time, in 2001. So there could be something that you're looking at from a distance, whether it's looking at it in the past or from a physical distance, and perhaps somebody is at a physical distance from you, or perhaps you want to travel a physical distance. You want to move. You want to move forward into something. Something that may seem larger than life, right? We see the moon here completely out of its of a context and scale, although if the moon were right next to the earth, perhaps that's how large it would appear. Again, with these two, the scale of things seems to be slightly skewed. The scale of things is slightly skewed. Six of Air is clarified by the Five of Pentacles in the upright. Five of Pentacles can talk about the feeling of being left out in the cold, being left out of the party is what I just heard. A little bit of FOMO. I don't know why that popped into my head, but it did. A little bit of FOMO. That you've been somehow left behind, left to fend for yourself, left to dig yourself out of a situation. You know, he's in this boat and he's got the rope in his hand, but I don't know, I'm not quite sure what he's going to tether himself to. That dock in the back seems very, very rickety. Almost like in your past, your home base, or your sense of home base, your sense of centeredness was a little thrown off. Five of Earth typically talks about us, it's like the belief that we're being left out, cast aside, but it's not necessarily true. It's the idea that we are. It's the idea that we have nothing. These are kind of like flower pots. It's the idea that we don't have anything growing, anything worthwhile. And this was in the past position because you saw something in your past that just no longer bore fruit, was no longer fruitful or productive for you. You moved on from it. And that could have been hard. And you could have watched chaos happen in the meantime. As you stepped away from it, you could have, you know, there was a theme that was going on in some of the readings that I did recently, and it was the idea of one self being a linchpin character. So the glue that holds things together. And if you're the linchpin and you were the one holding things together, that perhaps when you moved away from a certain scenario, relationship, job, take it as it resonates, that you were the one that was the linchpin holding things together. And the minute that you left, it just kind of collapsed. It just kind of, things kind of fell apart, became chaotic, lacked structure. But almost because you could see something beyond the immediate. You could see something destined. Now I'm saying the word destined. There's something like you're meant for bigger and better, bolder. That's pretty cool. In the present energy, generosity of air, the Queen of Air, Queen of Swords. So now when I said, okay, in the past energy, you saw something out there, a destiny for you. Well, now you're right up against the door. What are you going to do? The door is closed. It's clarified by the Six of Water, which is the Six of Cups, the nostalgia card, looking back at the past, looking back fondly at the past. You're right up against a door in the present moment. And the tendency might be to, look at this. So you see, sometimes this represents a brother and a sister. So it's this idea that he gave her this rose, right? It's almost like, are you looking back at that rose that was given to you in the past? Perhaps it was a promise of something. It doesn't have to be from a brother, but it could be the promise of something. And she's got the shears in her hand, right? The thing about the Queen of Air, she's always looking for the truth. She demands it. She demands it. So it's almost like saying, before I step through this portal into the great beyond, I'm going to see if there's like a trickster in my midst. If there's, you know, fox energy is trickster energy, even though they're like so super cute. And they have the cutest little laughs or barks or, you know, ways to communicate. If you don't tell me the truth, I'm going to cut your head off, right? That's what the Queen of Swords says. This door feels it almost feels, just by the coloring in the card, it feels metallic. It feels like a big steel door. And you have access. I mean, I just feel like if you just tapped on it, it would open. But it's more about wanting to know. I mean, honestly, it's like you want to know everything now. But Spirit's kind of saying, well, where would be the fun in that? There's so much mystery out there. Where would be the fun in that? So because of that tentativeness, because you're trying to find the truth in something, you might not be taking the strides forward that normally you would take. This feels like I'm going to pull a card on it. It feels like a very specific scenario. What is behind the door? What is behind the door? Curiosity. It's so funny that the word is curiosity, right? Curiosity of fire. Page of Wands. Now we're talking about fire energy, your energy. The Page of Wands is precisely the character who asks those initial questions, who says, what's behind door number 1? And pushes the door open. That's the thing. That's the difference between an air sign and a fire sign, right? The air sign would gather up the intel, the information, the data to make a rational decision. Curiosity, fire is just going to roll right into it, right? It's like, I don't know. We'll find out. Open the door. You're not quite in that energy because this is the clarifying card and it came out in reverse. You are definitely not in that energy at this time. That's okay, right? That's okay. We can't always be just like fly by the seat of our pants. We have to be smart about things. We have to be smart about things, but the word that you got, again, is bravery. Bravery in an element that is kind of foreign to you, right? Oceans denote water, which denotes feelings. So there could be a sense of you having to navigate the ocean of your feelings. But you're just kind of like, not right now. Not right now. In the future energy, you got the 10 of Earth in the reverse. This is the 10 of or the Ten of Pentacles. I likened, this came out in the Scorpio reading, I likened this to like a trampoline that he's bouncing off of, right? Kind of having fun, being carefree. Ten of Earth or Ten of Pentacles talks about stability, prosperity, abundance, a lushness, and a wealth. And you did get it in the reverse. So in this future position, it's like you're still trying to get to the place in your material circumstances that fit the idea of what you wanted for yourself. You may not be quite there yet. And, you know, because there's still some steps to take, there's some doors to walk through. But you're working on it because you got the Alchemy card to clarify the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. The Alchemy card is the Temperance card, Sagittarian energy. I love this little cat over here. Cats are independent creatures, right? They don't look for outside validation. You need to get validation from them. I have 3 cats. I would know. You don't own them, they own you. This is facts. This is cat facts. But again, outside, just outside the window, you can see the entire Milky Way. Your vision is so expansive. But you know, I love this reader on YouTube. Her name is Baba Jolie. You should check her out because she's amazing. Whenever she talks about cats, she describes them in this way that they kind of do that little shuffle before, like when they're right before they pounce on something, they do this little shake. They shake their butt a little bit and they do this little shuffle, because it's like, or if they're going to jump to like onto a shelf or onto a landing that they've never done before, they're calculating it in their brain. They're calculating their next move. With the Alchemy card, it is this idea that you're turning water into wine or base metals into gold. It's the sense of tempering something, right? We're taking something in, transmuting it, changing it, and when it comes back out, it's something so pure and beautiful and abundant. So, as a light worker or as an empath, when you come up against a person who is perhaps down on their luck, they're a little sad, they're a little lost, as an empath, you kind of, if you protect yourself, you're not absorbing their emotions, but you're holding space. Just talked with a Leo friend today about holding space. You're holding space for someone to experience those emotions. You process them, and then when you speak to them, it's like the things that you say transform their world, transform them from somebody who might have been depressed or down on their luck, and turning that around and saying, but look at how much you have to offer. Look at how much you have to be grateful for. Look at how you are blessed. You know, whatever that conversation looks like. Could also be the form of tough love too, like get yourself together, pull yourself together. There's so much here to do. You know, it's crazy. This cat, I can see now, there's like a glowing, the cat's kind of glowing. It's really weird. But almost like the cat represents spirit, right? The cat represents, well, typically in the Temperance card, there's the Archangel is the one that's mixing the two elements together. So, you know, maybe you have cats, or maybe they're your familiars. Cats are often familiars. feeling a lot of tension on this side of my head right now. Normally, if Spirit was communicating and I was saying something that was in line with what they wanted me to say, they would ring my ears, but it's a struggle right now. I feel tension right now. It's not to say that I'm not speaking Spirit's message, but it's more like I'm feeling resistance from somebody out there. Maybe it's hard for you to hear some of these messages. I don't know. It's nearly painful. Not quite. You can always turn this reading off if you so desire, but I would think that people would be here because they want to hear a message. Sometimes it's a message that it's not always the most pleasant, but it's the one we have to hear. In your advice from Spirit, you have the 5 of fire. That's 2 5s now. 5s represent transition, because you got the 5 of earth and now you have the 5 of wands, 5 of fire. That's a card of chaos and conflict. So it's almost like you stepped from the frying pan into the fire energy, is what I just heard. But this time it's like a fight that you're willing to fight. It's like you are looking at something head on. That's very important, because there are battles that we want to engage in, and there are battles that just find us, right? And you're definitely leaving something behind. But in the future, and the Spirit is saying, you may have something that you're going to be facing, but you're going to face it head on, and with bravery, with training and experience. With training and experience. I want to point out the fact that, one, there's a little sliver of a window out to the cosmos over here, so it's kind of like your beacon of light. But I also want to point out the fact that there's so much, this canopy of flowers framing this situation. It's almost like something that's going to turn into something really beautiful, because it's clarified by the Chariot card. This is the first time I've received this card in any of the readings I've done with this deck. Chariot represents Cancer energy. Movement forward. Here we have the cats again. Guess what? It's that same cat. Look. It's the same freaking cat. Only this time the cat has like a little... Did they think we wouldn't notice? That's so funny. It's the same exact cat, but this time it has a flower around its neck. The Chariot card often has a light and a dark entity. It's either the sphinxes or horses or some kind of animal representation, to represent a mastery over the light and the dark within, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. The Chariot can also represent, so now you have 2 cards that could represent travel. 6 of Swords in the Chariot. It is the Major Arcana card. It is the only Major Arcana card of, oh sorry, excuse me. You did get the Alchemy card. So it is the 2nd Major Arcana of this reading. This is a card of victory. This is a card of seeing the path ahead, and it's very, very clear. So funny, that same Leo friend, I was referring to a Beatles song called The Long and Winding Road. Maybe that's relevant to somebody out there. You should listen to that song, The Long and Winding Road. It's a little bit of a downer, but it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful song. And there's such a, it's kind of counter to the expression on this woman's face. She looks so happy. She looks so happy to be free. And that's what I want to say. That after some nice dueling, sparring, there's a sense of freedom and on the road and nothing but you and the pavement. There's such a sense of freedom I feel right now with your energy. And it comes from also from this sense of open heart chakra on top of the world. You know, perhaps it took a lot of bravery to move away from that past scenario. And not knowing where you were going to tether yourself. I think that the takeaway though from this is in the present moment, the here and now, literally in this moment, as you're watching this reading, you are behind a very heavy door, and it's a portal to somewhere that could change your entire life. And it's almost like, I want to say, are you just going to get caught up in the semantics? I don't really, it's not that I don't talk like that, but I don't really say that expression. Are you going to get caught up in the semantics, the trivial little details that may matter to some, may matter to none? Are you able to see beyond kind of something that might be tempting for something that's even more rewarding? This is, I feel, this little fox, and then what the fox represents, I feel like that's a distraction in your life right now. There's something in your life that's a distraction, and it's keeping you from turning around and opening that door. Right? Curiosity of fire in the page of wands in the reverse. That's not like a Leo, not to be bold about something. This is a hesitation energy, like no. It's a hesitation. It has to do with the past. So that's your reading, Leo. I hope that it resonated. I hope that you enjoyed it. If it did, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Please hit the bell notification so you can be updated for when I post new readings. Thank you, Leo.